Okay, I am super excited to show you today how I get my very, very straight curl resistant hair to curl and not using heat. My hair has historically been super hard to curl, and the only thing I could really get it to stay in the curl shape and not fall out 2 hours later is if I did a flat iron curl with a ceramic plate. Otherwise, any curl I put in my hair falls out. So I have tried a lot of these like no heat curls, and not many of them worked and didn't work in a way that I thought the curl was pretty. So I just wanted to share that information with you and show you what I found that does work and hopefully save you some time and some money. You've probably seen these tutorials on YouTube where people take like a wardrobe, a robe tie, and they hang it here and then wrap their hair around it. And then most people, I do these like Princess Leia curls on either side. I tried that and I found it uncomfortable to sleep, and I wasn't in love with the curl. And then I saw, you guys have probably seen this too, this doohickey. It's like this little foam tube, and you like clip it to your hair and then wrap it around and then tie off the ends. It worked. It's a rounder curl, but I found it really uncomfortable to sleep in. I mean, it's foam, but it's pretty firm, so you can always feel it on your head when you're sleeping with it, so I didn't think it was great. So then I just tried like a regular old hair wrap. You know, these are usually used to like give yourself like a turban or something on your head. And this worked really well. It had enough resistance and a big enough shape that your curl would stay on there and form a curl. And then I realized that this is cotton, so it's probably leaching some of the moisture out of your hair. And I'm all about trying to put moisture in my hair and trying to keep it healthy. So then I thought, why don't I try silk? So I got a big silk scarf because I knew I needed some, some thickness to it to get it the right size. And I have to say, this didn't work. It slipped. And it also just wasn't enough thickness. Like there's not enough resistance with just this fabric to give you the curl that you need. So this did not work either. What did work is I got a silk scarf off of Amazon for like $10 or something. And then I cut 2 pieces of it off and I just covered my hair wrap with the silk. And this has been working really great, and it's not bad for your hair, and it gives you a nice curl without any heat, which I do occasionally blow dry my hair, but not that often anymore. This is my hair, just, I wash it, condition it, and then I do put some hair oil in it by Virtue, and I do put this stuff in it, which is a volumizing mousse from Virtue, so it doesn't have any of the parabens and the sulfates and all that garbage for your hair, so it doesn't hurt your hair. And for me, I have a lot of fine hair, like my hair is so fine and it lays so flat on its own, so this gives me some volume. But those are the 2 products I usually put in, and then I try to let it air dry as much as possible. And then at night, before I go to bed, is when I do this wrap. So let me just show you how I do this wrap. And I usually just kind of brush the tangles out of my hair before we do it. And then I always usually put a little bit more of the hair oil in the ends, because when your hair gets this long, it's so easy to dry out on the ends and get split ends. So I just usually run some hair oil through the ends at night just to give it a chance to soak in while I'm sleeping. Plus, then you get a nice defined curl in the morning. And for me, this does not, sometimes if your hair is too silky, it won't take a curl, and this does not do that for me. And I do this almost every night. I started, when you have hair extensions, they want you to like braid your hair every night to keep them from getting messed up and getting broken, and it's good for your own hair to do that as well. I mean, I do have a silk pillowcase that I sleep on that's very good for your hair, but it's also good to keep it not in a loose braid or what I'm about to do. So it lessens the damage on your hair at night too. So I try to do it as much as possible. Okay, so I put the hair oil in, I brush through. I usually try to keep my part where I part it normally. And then in the back, I usually pull a little hair from this side because I like them to be as even as possible. Okay, so I put this right on top of my head. And then I clip it to keep it in place. So this is just an alligator clip. And I just clip it right in the middle to keep it from moving. When I first started doing this, I would use 2 clips. If I think it's going to move during the night, I'll use 2 clips. It just depends. So the other thing that I usually do is I give it a quick spray with water just to reactivate any of the product I have in my hair, and also so it keeps the curl shape. This is just an old bottle of something Aveda I had, and I just filled it with water. And I just give my hair a spritz before I start. All right. And I swear to you, this is not that difficult. It might take a minute to get used to it, but I just had hand surgery, and I had a broken hand, and I had the cast, and I was still doing it with the cast. So I usually start with a front piece because that's the part that you see when you look at your face. So I always want it to fall the right way. So you just take that front piece, and wherever you want the curl to start, like I usually like mine down a little ways from the bang, and you just wrap it around. All right. And then you just take another piece. I usually take a piece from the back then. So I get the curls falling about the same, and you wrap it around. And I usually then just join those 2 pieces together. So now you've got this here, you've got the wrap here. So then I'm just going to take another piece from the back and wrap it around, and then join these guys together. So this can untwist this way. You always want to just keep it slightly snug, and sometimes I just hold it on this side as well while I'm doing it so it can't pull that far. All right, so you're just taking little pieces, and then like here's this piece, and you're wrapping it around. And you can experiment with doing it looser or tighter. I would probably start tighter because it's going to loosen up while you sleep. So it's actually going to be looser than you think. And I'm just pulling another piece from the back. And you want to just go the same direction. If you get extra pieces in there, just like pull them back out. And it doesn't have to be super perfect. And I would definitely suggest trying this on a day that you don't have something super important to go to, because the first time you try it, it's probably not going to come out perfect. But when you look at it, you can be like, oh, I like these curls. I don't like this. I have a section of my hair that loves to be flat. So I do this several nights in a row because I only wash my hair like every 4 or 5 days. And on the second day, the curl takes much better. The first day, it's usually like a little looser. And I've perfected it to where it's looser, but it doesn't bother me. Like, it's not that bad. But when I first started, that section wouldn't curl that well, and I would just curl it. So, you know, if you're going somewhere and you want to make sure it's all even, look, less heat is better than doing your whole head with a curling iron. So if you get a section and it's not the curl that you want, just fix it with a curling iron until you can get this down in the way that you like. All right, so I have now wrapped this side all together. So I just make sure that that is, you know, secure. And then you just finish kind of twisting it around. And I like a curl where the ends are, like, I'm not going to curl this all the way down. It's going to be, I just don't like those curls. So I'm going to do that. And then you just secure it. Now you can tie a rubber band around. I try to keep it super healthy. So this is a Satin Scrunchie. Also, you know, good for your hair, not bad. And I used to tie it around like you normally would a scrunchie and just like pull the ends through. But I realized while I had my broken hand that you don't even have to do that. It was kind of hard with my hands. So all I do is just, I pull one end through the other and tighten like that. So, and then I just pull it so it's tight, and it's never come out. Like every night when I do it, it doesn't come out. So when I'm done, I just give it another little spray with water. And then, especially on the first night, I use this stuff. It's Briogeo. It's a volumizing spray. And I have found that this doesn't give a lot of buildup, and it looks really nice in your hair. And for me, I need the extra product or the curl doesn't take. So I spray this in pretty generously the first night. The second night, not as much. And then usually after that, I just use water. But first night, I use water and I use the volumizing spray. So then you want to just keep it tucked and bring this around to this side. This part can be slightly tricky when you're getting used to it, but all you have to do is pull all your other hair forward. And I usually, and if you twist this, it twists this, which is good because you always want to keep this nice and snug. So I just put it under my arm and hold it while I'm doing the other side. I find that's the easiest. And then we're going to do the same thing to this side. So I'm just going to spray it with water. And then just do the same thing. And you always want to wrap back. So I'm starting with this front piece and doing the same thing. Like wherever you want the curl to start, that's where you want your first bend. So I actually like it a little bit lower, so I'm pulling it down. And then you just take the next piece and wrap it around, join it with the other one. So now we've got those. And I kind of always aim for this empty space. So I'm going to pull one from the back now. And this guy, I'm going to just wrap it right there in that empty space, join it with these guys. All right, so I'm probably going to speed this up now so you don't have to watch me do every piece. I'm going to do the same little wrap around. Pull it tight, and then that's it. And then I'm just going to twist this back and then spray it with some water again, and then spray it with the volumizing spray. All right, so then you just wrap this other piece behind and make sure you have both your ends. And then I usually just tuck these in to make sure that they're in the right place. So this is what we're looking like. So then I just take these ends and wrap them right around my head. Give it a nice snug. And then just tie this in a little knot. Ta-da! And then I'm ready for bed. And I usually, like a lot of times my little ends are poking out, which is fine. Like that's what I want because I don't like to have the ends curled. And then I usually just take my fingers and just tuck it in, because you'll notice it kind of might loosen up at first, but if you tuck it in, especially while it's still wet and has the product on it, it'll usually stay in pretty well. And voila. I think I said before that at night, like I usually try not to blow dry my hair, and I will get out of the shower and I will put some hair oil in my hair, in the ends. And then I usually put this volumizing mousse in because it really helps. My hair needs extra help, especially to hold a curl. So I put that stuff in, and then I try to let it air dry. And then I'm using the water to kind of reactivate the product that's in there. And then I'm giving it a little extra with this stuff. But I have tried a ton of products and a tons of ways of doing this, and this has worked for me every time. And like I said, you can try it out. Like, definitely, like, don't just try it once and think it doesn't work. Like, give yourself a minute to get used to it. It takes a minute to figure it out, and you're always just like twisting around and holding it, and then taking another one and twisting around and holding it, and then it just kind of goes down the tube, and then just tie off the end. But this stuff is saving my hair, and it's so nice to be able to get a really nice curl without all the heat. So hopefully that helps you. I will show you tomorrow morning how we're looking. Okay, so I've slept on it overnight. You can see I had it wrapped up with my little end pieces. But it stays pretty good, especially I have the one clip in the top, and you know, when I tuck it, I usually tuck it like this before I go to bed, but when I put the water spray in it and you sleep on the satin pillowcase, it stays pretty good. Probably stays decently if it's not a satin pillowcase. So this is all you have to do. It's so crazy. So I'm taking my little alligator clip out, and then you just undo the ends, and then see the little pull through on the satin scrunchies, they just come right off. I don't know, it's just a time saver, easier to do. Pull that guy off, and then you just unwrap, ta-da, and then this side, I can just kind of pull it out. Now on my first day, the curls are a little looser, and I'm going to show you tomorrow and maybe the next day so you could just kind of see how they go. But I don't even, since I brushed it out before I did it, I don't even like use a comb or anything. I just run my fingers through it. And just get those curls kind of together. All right, I'm gonna flip my head upside down. Ta-da! And I have very nice curls kind of running through, like a nice soft wave. This is not as curly as I would like it, but when I do it tomorrow night, it'll be even curlier. But this side looks really good. So I just try to foof up the top a little bit, and then I just give it a little shape with some paraben and sulfate-free hairspray. This is Bain de Terre. So I usually just give it a little spray and then kind of put the curls where I want them. And then this side, so if you wanted to, if you're like me, there's a part of your hair that's not as curly as you like, you can just go in with a curling iron and fix that section. It's not really bothering me though that much, so I'm just gonna wear it. And then I'm gonna rewrap it tonight before I go to bed, and then I'll show you what it looks like tomorrow. But these curls last all day. It's going to loosen up a little bit by the evening, but with that, and my hair, I'm telling you, it is so hard to curl. Like, if I do it with a regular curling iron, within 2 hours, it's straight again. So it's kind of amazing that I can get this level of curl with no heat. So I'm gonna show you guys, I'm gonna wrap it again tonight. And then I'll show you what it looks like on day 2, so you can see it just, like, you can just keep doing it. It stays. Ta-da! So the back is curly too. Okay, so this is day 2. Nice, my little hair is sticking out here. So this is day 2 wrap, how I get out of bed. And I just wanted to show you how it gets like a little bit curlier every day. And I was worried that it would, you know, like it would be start curling in different places and would look funky, but it doesn't do that. It tends to just look nice and get a little bit curlier. So I'm just going to unwrap it. Take off my little scrunchies. Alrighty. So just untwist and untwist, and then it just comes right off. All right, so here's our curls on the second day. See how it's like even more curlier? But they're like nicely formed. So I'm gonna just tip my head under and brush them out with just my fingers, and then just show you what it looks like. Ta-da! Okay. So, oh, hello, stray hair. So sometimes where it's been tied is a little flat, so I just foof it up a little. But like it just turns out really nice, and these are like heatless, nice curls. So I usually just put a little spray and go. And my right side tends to curl a lot easier for some reason than my left side, but good enough. And when I first started trying to figure out how to do this, this side was much flatter and it used to drive me crazy. And so I would just curl like this one section until I got it to where I was happy with it. So, you know, if you need to do a little zhuzhing and fix it, it's not the biggest deal. And after a while, you'll kind of see what works better and what doesn't. And then you'll have it to where you can wake up, pull that out and go. So it's a little more work at night, but it's great. Okay, this is day 3. So this is what it looks like when I wake up. Just gonna take the little clip out, unfold my edges. Isn't this lovely? All right, let me show you. I just pull those guys off and take this out. And then see how the curl is like, it's better than it started the first days. Like, and it doesn't, it's a nice uniform curl. Like it's not weird. All right, let me flip my head upside down and fix this so you can see it when it's done. Okay. So literally what I'm doing is I just flip my head underneath and I just kind of rub in these areas because it's usually a little flat and I want to foof it up a little. And it's day 3, so like if I notice any, like if it starts to look dirty, I just use my dry shampoo, which this is like a paraben, sulfate, silicone free, so no damage. And I just put a few sprays in. It is also good for a little volume too. So I usually just do that. Make sure you can't see it. And then, and I'm literally, like sometimes I use a wide tooth comb and just to give it like a brush through, but honestly most of the time I just use my hands. And then I use my lovely Bain de Terre sulfate and paraben free, just to kind of keep it in shape. All right. So, ta-da! Oh, I guess I should put my glasses on. There we go. Ta-da! Okay. But look, I mean, these great curls, and they last all day. And like the more days I do it, the curlier it gets. And it's not doing any damage to your hair, which is what's amazing. And my hair is so hard to curl. And to get like a nice curl like this is just like amazing. And you know, I know when you try new stuff, you don't get it right the first time. Don't be like, oh, this is garbage. Just like kind of say, okay, this part is nice. This part I wish had this. You can always fix it with a curling iron until you get it down. But in the meantime, you know, just do a little practice and then you can get your hair looking really great with no heat. All right. Hope that helps and saves you some money. Again, just get like a hair wrap. Just get a regular cotton hair wrap from Amazon. I'll put a link to one below. They're like less than $10 and just try it out. Try it out. And then if it works for you, you can go crazy like I did and just get a little silk scarf and wrap it around it. So then your hair is getting wrapped on silk. You're still going to have the right curl and it's like so healthy for your hair.